Once again, we have another garage door repair video. I cover a lot of different topics in my channel on garage door repair, and here we have another one, and I want to address intermittently functioning garage doors. So sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't. Sometimes it'll open, or it'll even stop halfway. And there's a few things that could be very easy fixes and other things that require a little more effort. Now, one of the first things that's actually interesting, I have incandescent bulbs in mine, but new LED bulbs and even incandescent bulbs can cause problems with your garage door opener. With an incandescent bulb, occasionally, if the filament is kind of breaking down, or just there's so much vibration going on in the garage door opener, that if your light bulb is flickering, like the filament is making contact and disconnecting, that can stop your garage door opener from functioning properly. It can stop mid-open. LED bulbs, some LED bulbs emit a frequency that conflicts with the signal coming from your garage door opener. And so that is an issue you might want to check. And they actually make, I'll put links in the description below, but they actually make light bulbs for garage door openers that are LED so that you can avoid that problem. Another thing that it could be is sunlight hitting the sensors or loose wires anywhere. Now, I'm doing this video because a neighbor of mine told me that whenever the weather changed, their garage door stopped working. It only operated within a certain window, and I knew exactly what the problem, well, I thought I knew exactly what the problem was, and I was right. And so we'll get to that part in this next section of the video. Now, I'm showing you this video because if you've had problems with your garage door opening and closing intermittently, and you've ruled out all of the other factors and you have no idea what's going on, I have one last thing for you to check. If it's not the capacitor and all of your sensors and wires running to the buttons and all that stuff are good, then you want to take off this panel, and I'll show you what to expect and what to look for. And it is a very simple fix, even though it may seem difficult. It really isn't. So if you take off this back panel, and it's just a matter of unscrewing up here usually, and almost all of these garage door openers are built the same way. There's two electronics boards on the back of the panel. I already took this one apart. You have two boards. This one supplies the power to the various components, and this is the controller board. This is the receiver board for the remote, and you don't want to mess with these, as it will mess with the calibration of your opening force and your closing force. So if your garage door is behaving just fine in that regard, don't touch those, don't move them at all. This is my neighbor's garage door board. I was outside and I saw that their garage door stopped halfway, and I spoke with her, and she said that it does it whenever the weather changes. That's when she notices it the most, and it has to sit for a while, and then it can continue on the repair, or on the, sorry, not the repair, on the opening or closing. So at first I thought it was a bad capacitor, but if you can get past the initial start of a garage door opening and then it stops, that's not typical for a capacitor problem. But the intermittent thing, I thought maybe it was a failing capacitor. Well, it turns out that on the back of this board, you can see all the soldering points. And what happens is, and as soon as I told her, I said, yeah, the weather, every time weather changes, garage doors start to act funny. Either your torsion springs break or something like that happens. Well, in this case, she said, yep, every time the weather gets over this amount of degrees, it has problems. And so I thought, wait a minute, you might have a cold solder joint. Cold solder joint is basically where the solder, which is this little metal here that connects the components to the board, is broken. And weather can definitely affect that. Vibration can affect it as well. And you get both in a garage. You get the garage door shaking, or the garage door opener shaking these boards in micro vibrations. And you get extreme hot and extreme cold. So I took these off and I started looking at them. The capacitors all look fine on both boards. However, right here on the back, and I'll zoom in, see how well we can see this. Okay, so I don't know how well you can see it. It's a hairline fracture on this joint right here. And when I took the back panel off, it was still plugged in. But do you see that? I'm pushing just slightly. See that gap on that contact right there? So that's the cold solder joint, and that would disconnect with vibrations. When I took the board off, the light for the garage door opener was flickering on and off, like the power kept going, fluctuating on and off. So anyway, that is that fracture right there. So if you're suspicious, go through the board, look at all of the parts, and maybe even just push on it here and there. But if you see any kind of hairline fracturing, that is an indicator. Now let's get to the fix, which is very easy. I have a soldering iron here. It's been plugged in while I've been talking. And basically what you want to do is reflow the solder on that contact point. I may add a little bit more solder to it, but we'll just go ahead and put some contact onto this joint, and it will instantly, it takes a couple seconds usually. Yep, there we go. Okay, there we go. It's just been reflowed, but I'm going to add some more, and you want to make sure that you don't connect any of these points. And some are very close. Like if there was a problem with that joint right there, a lot of times you don't want to bridge the gap. Some of them it doesn't matter, as you can see right there, it's bridging. And then these lines, these little roads, whatever you want to call them, are really called traces. So we are going to just put some more solder on this point. And it does get smoky. So I don't know if you could see here, but I'm looking on the sides and there's still kind of a crack there. So we are going to just make sure we really get this on. There we go. Okay, so that was it. That's all it took. And so now I'm just going to reassemble this. Oh, another thing, before you take your board off, you want to make sure that you just take a photograph of the wiring, the way that it's set up for your sensors and your button, which is where the button on your door wiring and the sensors that trigger the door to open if something gets in the way are right here. So just pay attention to where they went initially. I like to take a picture of it with my phone, and then I have it with me right there on the spot. So like I said though, don't mess with these buttons or these knobs, and we'll put it back together and we should be good to go. Okay, I've unplugged the soldering iron. You want to make sure that you don't leave that plugged in. And what we'll do is we'll put these boards in. So this one here kind of marries, if you will. So there's the pins that are right there, and they align in just one way. So we'll go ahead and slide that in like that, and then we'll make sure that these buttons go in the right places. Okay, I also forgot, you want to make sure that you feed the antenna wire through while it's easy, while you have access. So it just goes basically through that little hole, and then it hangs down. And when you're doing this and resecuring the board, you want to make sure that you don't over tighten. You want it snug, you don't want it shaking around, but you don't need to hear a crack as you're screwing the components back on. Okay, now that's it. That's how you repair a broken trace. If that is present, it is almost guaranteed the problem. And you can have more than one broken trace on a board, so inspect it thoroughly. I hope that helped. I hope you find one and are able to be confident enough. This is just a glue gun for solder. There's nothing scary or other than it gets really hot. But just take your time with it and you should be fine. Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful in your last ditch effort to find out what is wrong with your garage door, won't you please do a like on this video and even share it. That helps immensely. If you click, Pinterest or whatever social media you use, I would greatly appreciate it. In the meantime, I hope your garage door works for many more years to come. Thanks for watching. Bye. So there you have it. I hope that was helpful. Now, if you would like to help my channel, you can click subscribe, ring the bell, and take a look at the link in the description below. Anything you purchase through that link will support that channel. And if I saved you money, you can donate. Any portion will help me make more how-to tip and repair videos for other people. It is greatly appreciated. You don't have to, but if you have some means, it's always appreciated. Thanks for watching. We'll see you around next time. Let me know if you have any questions, comments, clarifications, or anything else, even corrections, in the comment section below. Be sure to like it if you liked it, and feel free to thumbs down if this wasn't helpful. Thanks for watching.